Hi and welcome. I have another page in my number 6 art journal. I'm starting on the last section today. Can't believe it's gone so fast through this book. But speaking of the book, if you want to make a book, there's a link to how to make it in the description. Use Bristol smooth paper. It just elevates it so much, such a world of difference. I don't get paid to say that. Maybe someday. I hope to, but I don't right now. Okay, so I'm going to start with some embossing. I'm going to get my Versamark out there. And I tell you, that Versamark lasts so long. I've had that one for years. I've got another one waiting, thinking that it's got to run dry. I mean, then maybe a newer one would do so much better, but I don't know. I'm using this stamp from, I think it's French Marketplace. Did I show that? Maybe. And I like this one for this specific stamp for when I want small text. This one, and then I have another one as well that has pretty small text, and I think it does really well for that. I'm just putting some on the right and some on the left, and that'll be it. I'm going to add black embossing. I don't use that very much, but I do like having that on a neutral page because this is going to be kind of neutral, and I like the black embossing. I typically leave the embossing in. I just speed it up so it doesn't take quite so long. You can't really tell the turning of it in this quite as much. Oh, and I see I don't. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I did. I was thinking I didn't get the other half side, but I did. And I don't care so much if it's not perfect. Actually, I prefer not perfect, but that's just me. I'm gonna cover the remaining of the page, well, all of the page, with antique linen. I use old paper a lot, but antique linen is more of a brownish base. If you look at the pad, you'll see a difference in the color of the pad. Old paper has a green tinge to it. This one has a brownish yellow tinge to it, and that's kind of how I choose which one I use for a background. But that's just so I don't have white. Don't want any white on this one. I'm going to use a couple of those crayon gouache. I'm going to say it wrong. I like these, but if you don't have these, you can use distress inks. These are creamier than the distress inks in my opinion, but or you can use inks and a stencil to do something similar. So I'm just gonna put a couple circles on and a few other marks. I like to dip mine in water and use it like it's flat on the side, just so I'm not, I don't know, to me, I have more control over what I do if I use it on the side. You don't really see a lot of the orange in the end. You see some of it, but not a lot of it. and then I just dip it in the water, and this one I do straight up, and then just make some dots. And it's got to be continually dipped in, or else you'll just get like crayon, regular crayon marks, which you can add water to. Sometime, if you've got those, just play around with them and see what you get. I'm gonna start. Okay, this is, I thought I was grabbing vintage photo, and here I'm like, oh no, I grabbed walnut stain. So I have my vintage photo blending tool, so I had to wipe that off and then bring my vintage photo out. I had them both on my desk, so that's why it was easy for me to make that mistake. Sometimes I'm working on multiple pieces at one time. Well, not at one time, but like say texture paste is drying, I'll go to work on something else. I'm going to use a stencil here because it's just got a lot of little things, little shapes and marks, and this is my go-to for that kind of thing, the stencil here. If you can only get one for little marks and shapes, this is the one I would recommend. I'll have a link in the description. Well, I'll tell you where I got it anyways, the name and where I got it. I'm doing a pretty light touch. I don't want it to be really dark because I just want it to kind of be back there, and after you see the bold things, then you see the not quite so bold things. A little more visual interest. So it's not my norm kind of piece, but I do like it, and I'm gonna start collaging. I'm gonna use all neutral collage as well for the most part, and everything I am using except for the sentiment will be a digital download. I purchase all my downloads from Etsy, and I manipulate focal images for size if I get individual files for them. Otherwise, I print them as it is, but I print them on 90-pound white cardstock. I get lots of questions on what printer do I use because the prints are so nice. I take mine to Office Depot. That way I don't ever have to worry about ink running out, or all of a sudden my prints aren't looking pristine. What's the problem? Maybe someday I will. I thought I might have to after my move because I didn't know if I'd have access, but I do, so that's good. And anyways, I print them on 90-pound white cardstock. Did I mention that? And then fussy cut them out. I use Tim Holtz recoil snips. Just a huge difference. I didn't always use those. I've probably used those the last 2 or 3 years, and it's made a big difference on my hands. I do have arthritis in my hands, and so this helps a lot. If you're new, I do like to use numbers on most of my pieces. It was one of the first digital downloads I bought was a pack of numbers, and I just like using them. My focal image is going to be pretty neutral as well. It has some color in it, but not as busy. I'm trying to keep the whole thing to read neutral. That doesn't mean everything has to be neutral. Sometimes I'll do that, but sometimes it's okay to add splashes of color. It kind of helps, I think, for a piece to read that there is a lot of neutrals on the page. And I decided, I love these, I think they're magnolias, and I do love them and use them as is quite often, but in this case I decided to take some vintage photo and that same text stamp and just stamp a little bit on the petals. Now, it's not that I want them to stand out a lot, so I'm not using anything like black. I just want it to kind of be very quietly there. Just one more thing to notice after you're looking at it for a while. And as normal, or as usual, I am adding some low profile dots. These dots are really a game changer for me when I found them, because they're not the normal old-fashioned thick ones. They're very low profile. So they'll just lift your focal image away a little bit from the page, and that just helps make it a focal image, makes your page not look so flat. I do have a link to them in my Amazon storefront. It's the same price if you buy anything from my storefront. It's the same price as if you would buy it off Amazon. They just give me a little tiny commission when I sell something from my storefront. I'm just gluing that. I use the dots on the main portion, but I glue down leaves and stems and bird feet just so they don't get ripped away down the road. I decided I want to add one more image, and this is just a punch from a page of something. Maybe there was a flower on it, but it was a whole page, or a bird, and it was a whole page, and so I don't throw the scrap of it away. I'll punch circles or squares out of it to use later, and this is one of those. So you'll not see anything about where that came from. It was just a scrap. Last thing I'm going to do is add a sentiment, and this is Tim Holtz clippings book. I like the clippings book because they're all kind of neutrals. The other book I use a lot, I have all of them I think, but the other one I use a lot is the Small Talk, and those are black or white. Then you have to mess with the white ones a little more, but the clippings I still do the edge just so I don't have a white edge of the sticker. And of course, as all of them, I glue them down even though they're a sticker book. That way they won't pop off down the road. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this one. I do have some final pictures coming up. If you did enjoy it, if you could give me a thumbs up, a hype, or a comment is okay. Or you can ask me questions specifically about something, and I will do my best to answer. Other than that, I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.